Hi, bro. All right, I'll just. Can you tell whether am I audible or not? Am I audible? All right, done. So, hi, bro. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, done, cool. So I'll just give a proper introduction to myself and also to you, and then we'll start off with the poetry book. So, hello, all those who have joined the live. Thank you so much for joining and for coming. So, this is my second live, and I don't know how flawlessly it's gonna go. But if I'm nervous and if I made some mistakes or stammer, just ignore. Okay, it happens. And yes, so today we are here to talk about Dariche poetry book, and I'm just excited because this is my first live with a poet, with a published poet, and also like with another person on my Instagram page. Priorly, we have done it on deleted drafts, but here this is something very new, and I'm so excited, like super excited as always. So thank you so much, and yes. So you can see who's also sharing the screen today. So Prashant bro is here, and he's the poet of the Dariche book. Here it is. With this, I have posed also beautifully, and he created a poster also. It was wonderful. So yes, a proper introduction about Prashant. Prashant Weber is a Hindustani poet who has been writing for more than 1.5 decade and has composed over 500 poems. Guys, 500 poems, dozens of soulful lyrics, and an active contributor in literary magazines of India. Weber is a performer who always impacts the heart of the audience with a message in his performance. And also, he has won pretty much notable prizes or awards, we can say in that way also. So, of which I'll read out few. So, Poetry World Organization, they conducted an open mic called Alphas. He was a winner in that 2019. And then Wingward Poetry Prize, it's conducted by Delhi Poetry Slam. He has also won in that. Again, 2019 year. Now he is published one poetry book, and also he has been a co-author of many books. Noor, Founder Anthology, Poetry and You by Lab Academia, Kahaniyan, Allahabad Ki Anthology, and everything he has worked as a co-author. So this is like the huge introduction of the wonderful poet who has joined us and who is here to share about his experiences today. So let's go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for such a nice introduction. You have done a quite extensive research. I would like to correct one thing. Wherever the data was that I have written 500, that was the old data actually, and now the counting has crossed over 1,000. So yeah, that you can update.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. So 1,000 poems is not a. I mean, it's a huge thing. It's not a matter of a silly thing actually. So congratulations, and I'm just like I don't know what is. I mean, I guess I have more to learn from you. I'm just a beginner. So yes, 1.5 decade of writing is a huge milestone, I would say. So yeah. Guys, so you can also post your questions in between. I'll have the question session going on. But today for the live, I'm going to ask few questions to Prashant and he'll be sharing his own experiences. I curated some questions so that we'll be able to know more about the poetry book, and also about him as a writer. Yes. So tell us something about yourself, bro. How you started writing, how it happened to you, why writing, why did you choose writing? Because there are so many forms of art out there, right? So what motivated you or inspired you?
So initially, as far as I can remember, I started with an urge to express, and it was somewhere when in school days, obviously, and when I was in 5th standard or 6th standard, maybe year 2002 or somewhat, I started writing and scribbling basic. The basic feelings which you are feeling related to nature, your studies, your college, I mean your school, your parents, everything. So yeah, from there it started, and I found myself best fitted in that form. Although as a child, everybody, we all do try sketching, painting, and music, every other form of art. But yeah, I found myself best suited to express in that form. So I can say the writing chose me. I didn't choose writing; the writing chose me. Yeah.
All right. That's nice actually, like getting inspired and also starting at a very early age is a great thing because most of us, we spend our teenage years or like most of us, not everyone, we spend without knowing what is passion or what we are good at. And then after a certain point of time, we realize what is passion and then we start spending time. It is like you have missed out. It's never too late, but still it's like you have missed out a wonderful phase of your life where you could have started it initially itself. So it's good that it happened to you. You were like one among the few. And yes, post that, the next thing is one moment you felt to be, you felt proud to be a writer or a poet. One moment which made you feel you were, you as a proud person.
Okay, so basically, I've performed at various stages and so many platforms and through literary magazines and the online. But there was one moment I performed a poetry, and the poetry was between father and a daughter's, a kind of conversation. The poetry's title was Antar Man Ki Vani, which you translated to English, and yeah, the Antar Man
Yeah.
Ki Vani. Yeah. So actually, then there after in the audience there came a girl who lost her father at very early age, and after finishing
Okay.
my poetry, she said that I found my father in your poem. So that was the
Wow.
biggest,
That's
I think,
amazing.
compliment I received.
Nice. So it's a wonderful feeling when someone listens to your poetry or they read and then they come and give a valuable feedback. Like it's not a valuable feedback, more like a wonderful compliment which makes you feel good about the thing which you do, whether it is following your passion or whatever it is. That moment you feel so much of happiness in your entire system, and that is something wonderful. Even I have felt that a few times when my readers or when someone shares that this is beautiful, keep doing it. It's just like a huge pump of motivation to everyone. So yes, and guys, it's going to be like a question session, and also I'm going to read about my favorite poetry from this book, which you'll be finding the link in my bio of which you'll be finding the link in my bio. You can go and purchase it also.
And,
Yes.
one
So
second before you start, Padma, I would like to tell the audience that Padmavati is the official translator of the book Dariche, because Dariche has the poem in original language Hindustani as well as the English transliteration. Mark my word, literation. It's not translation. She has done the whole, the essence out of the language and then translated into the English form and then kept the intact and kept the sanctity of the poem in English as well. So she deserves, I mean, say a huge round of applause because you have really made justice to the feelings, and I'm really thankful to you. And you really are, you really deserve to be a official transliterator of Dariche. Yeah, please
thank
continue
you
with the
so
point.
much. Thank you so much, brother. Actually, I have to thank you about this whole thing which happened to me. I will share the story in a while. Before that, I'll just read the poetry because this is my favorite also. As a writer, I value pen and paper. So this is something titled as The Paper. So it goes like this. The voice of paper is only silence. It waits for lifelong patiently. Sometimes, in search of a pen, they shrink. Other times, they hope to embrace ink. But they never attempt to utter their feelings. They keep trembling in restlessness without any healing. If I bind all of them with thread of a title, they find meaning in someone's caravan, else they wander like a homeless and often placed under a load of an ink bottle very often. The ink is proud of its profound existence, whereas the pen has a loud echoing voice of persistence, but without who neither the ink nor the pen has any significance. These gentle papers, I wonder how they remain so silent in subsistence. Who knows what they are waiting for? This strange virtue of papers, the silence they adore. So this is something about paper written from its perception. The thought itself, for me as a writer, I wonder like how people are able to think like this. You know, it's very delicate and it's also very interesting. So thank you for giving me to read such a wonderful piece, bro, and also for translating. So coming back to how Dariche happened, I have posted many times the stories about how Dariche happened, and also I shared in my first live about the book when I opened it in front of everyone. So Dariche, when it's when when Prashant bro approached me, I was like very nervous and also little bit hesitant because I didn't really know the language. So without knowing the language, how will I be able to do justice to a poetry book? This is something very divine and sacred to me. So I was little hesitant, and then he gave me all the confidence. Him and his wife, actually, she is also a wonderful human you could ever come across. Didi, if you are somewhere or if you are hearing my voice, a big hi to you. So yes, both of them motivated me, and they told that we do believe in your writings. I mean, in your confidence or whatever you share with the writing. So please go ahead, like. We can do this together, like we can collaborate and bring this out together. And with the help of him, for every poem, in fact, I didn't understand few lines here and there. So even while going for work and all, he used to explain me. It's like he was able to juggle between work and also give his full to his poetry book. That is the amount of dedication that he had. And I learned this particular thing from him while I worked for the 3 months in this book. I mean, I have worked for this 3 months, but here there's a lot of effort which even I am not aware of, which he'll be sharing today with all the questions. Yes, so thank you so much to you and Didi as well. And
so,
yeah, so yeah,
I'm
bro.
so thankful and grateful. I'm really being a writer. So much you have already spoken that I'm really short of new words now.
Never. I don't know. I'll be just talking, blabbering randomly. So you will always have better words, actually, I suppose. So, and also, guys, sorry, I have a running nose, and in between, if I use my handy, please don't mind. I don't have corona and all, so don't fear. Yes, coming back, bro. So the next question: the best compliment you have received for your poetry. One of the best compliments which you remember till date.
Yeah, that I earlier shared once from the audience. A girl came after reciting the poetry. And
other than that, some other
okay.
compliment or incident.
Other than that, there was one guy was performing. He was into the music, so he said, "Till now, I have been only in music. I never understood the words behind that. But for the first time, I'm not a very poetic guy. But for the first time, after listening to your poetry, I'm actually feeling interested to listen to the words. So for me, it was like." Okay, those who are poetic, for them, poetry is interesting. But for a person who poetry is not interested at all, I mean, for that kind of person, if you make him interested in that, I feel that it's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. And that it's always a different feeling, because out of so many compliments, if someone is able to start something very particularly after listening to your words, or especially after your performance, it's another level feeling, I would say. And it's good to hear. Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, so the next thing is, what inspired you to write Dariche? Like the whole compilation of books, there are like 200 pages, so it's not easy to come up with such a wonderful creation. So what inspired you, and why did you choose this concept, like the poems which are in this? Anything about Dariche?
Okay, so Dariche is a Hindi Urdu word which means windows. So all the poems from the book are kind of peeping out of a window. There are 6 kind of windows here. The poetry based on life, the poetry based on love, sadness, thought, and memories, and nature. So it's kind of life. If you see the life closely, it's exactly like peeping out of different kind of windows. Sometimes it's like a sadness, sometimes it's like happiness, sometimes the life inbuilt the life. So I found that it's a true replica of life. And what made me to write the book is it's a two-layered question actually. The one is I got the offer and opportunity from the publisher to present a book. That was the upper layer, and the inner layer answer is my poems completed the age of 18 years. I would say by that time I was done with the 18 years of writing. So I thought my poems are legally mature to travel their own path. So I made them free to the world by publishing the book. So I thought now they can travel their own journey. So after 18, so I thought now they are, the eligible citizen, and now they can travel their own journey. So this is the thing which I thought, yeah, this is the thing.
So that was like a beautiful explanation that I have come across. I worked and I knew that it meant window, but the last point which you told, like it's matured enough to fly ahead and travel to different places. I hope I read somewhere something called like this, a book traveling to all the libraries and all the cupboards of the book lovers everywhere. So I hope your book also travels and settles in each and every possible place it deserves to be. So thank you so much. And yes, so coming back next, who does not love clouds? Okay, every day if there is something common, if we look at the sky, obviously it is the clouds, the sun, the moon, the stars. That's what comes to my head right now. If I miss out something, it's okay. But yes, clouds are always beautiful, right? So there is one poem which is my favorite, titled as "Often These Clouds." So it goes like this. This range of portraits that you gaze at the sky displays a combination blended with so many colors while sitting on a terrace in leisure to see their glory. More often than not, these clouds, they narrate a story. Holding someone's little finger pointing at the sky, clouds appear like a cat, a horse, elephant, or dragon. God knows how many other faces adorn the beautiful sky. Although your watches have no time for the sky now, while waiting on a traffic signal, your sight, if you follow, then notice white blushed clouds keep watching us, longing to tell us the tale, their anecdotes to discuss. Sometimes I see a complete home of Barbies and toys. Feels like the blue sky above has merged into my joys. Few tiny clouds look like grandchildren to me. Whenever they come overhead, I stretch out my arms, embracing them, draping on my face like a scarf, playing with funny creatures like giant and dwarf. But when the easterly wind flows, triggering the past and old pains, it destroys all beautiful pictures. That boat of clouds, I was there, sitting and sipping nectar, disappears in the nothing somewhere. The eyes of the birds which used to sparkle in clouds get dissolved as if it never existed. Why are people in such a hurry? Often these clouds narrate a wonderful story. So yes, and now I have actually become an admirer of clouds too. I love moon basically, but after working for this poem, I have given more attention to clouds also equally. So yeah. So anything for this one, like how this thought came to you, and how much? How much do you love the clouds? Like, what is your favorite part of the sky? I know it's a weird question to ask, but still, you can go ahead and answer.
Because the sky has no limit. So exactly the same. And this thought came exactly when I was standing at the signal, the Meenambakkam signal. I was standing when I was in Chennai. So this thought actually came when I was looking at the sky over the airport, and so many thoughts came. And then there was just 30, 29, 28, the signal, the traffic signal. So I was thinking, okay, I just had 27 seconds to see the sky. Then this thought came, and then I wrote the complete poetry over that. And so this was it.
So nice, actually, it's good. So hereafter, if I stand in traffic signals also, I'll try to give my entire focus and attention to the clouds, definitely, because you have described it so wonderfully, because it's so good to read. And bro, coming back to the questions that I have drafted, yeah. So how does it feel to be a published poet? Because if you see, like in this a couple of years, most of them have been into writing. Like there are so many Instagram pages where regular writings are posted, but in this time, especially during this crisis of 2020, you have published a book and you have officially become a poet. So how does it feel to have this?
Yeah, truly and honestly, if I say, I feel more responsible. Now I feel more responsible towards society and my words, because by God's grace and by the love of all my readers, this book has crossed within a first month 900 plus copies sold. So, and I don't know the
Amazing.
latest counting. I don't know the latest counting. So, in Hindi poetry, if a book crosses 1,000 plus, it becomes a bestseller. So,
Wow.
it means these 1,000 people are not the 1,000 readers. These are 1,000 seeds, and I am planting something with my thoughts to these 1,000 seeds. What these 1,000 seeds will carry further. So now I feel more responsible towards my words, and I think I was always have this consciousness behind, in my mind. I have always this thing that what I'm writing, because my writing is not just my writing now it's you are reading it, many people are listening it, and many more will listen to this video because it will be there till this digital world will remain. So every word which I write, every word which I speak, I feel now more responsible towards the society. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's true actually, and I love the part where you told like how you have planted 1,000 saplings. It's a beautiful way of telling something, especially with the thoughts or whatever you teach or preach or whatever it is, and that shows why you are actually a writer and a poet. So no doubt of the metaphors you use. So it's proved evidently to the audience right now. So guys, I think I have like 5 more questions to ask and also few poetry to perform. But then
You can,
let's
yeah.
take questions on a Q&A from you guys. If you have any questions to Prashant, you just post it in the comment section and I will read out. So he'll answer. So we can do this. Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. So by the time when audience is posting questions, why don't we read a poem? I would like to read out a poem which is one of my personal favorite from the book, and I would read the English
Definitely.
transliteration done by you. So please pardon me if I pronounce any word wrong, because now I'm reading your work. I need your permission to recite
No problem,
it.
no problem. Definitely not. This is all completely yours. You don't have to ask permission from me at all. You can go ahead. And I am also excited to hear it.
Okay. So the poetry, based on the context, when in January, February, March 2020, we were experiencing the bitterness in our country. There were lynchings, there were riots, there were so many disturbing things which our country had never seen. So I was terribly disturbed with the thoughts, and I wrote small couplets. But that this feeling is like until unless you fully express it, you don't feel in peace. So after writing it, I felt that thing. So I would just read it for you. I'll recite it for you.
Sure. Go ahead.
Just I try thousands of times, but my soul is in a trap. My sight gets stuck on that poor naked chap who's standing beyond my car's window pane and selling freedom's flag on a traffic signal lane. I had to write a ghazal dreaming about you, also had to follow the lover's path after falling in love with you. But plafond of my mind is exuding like sad rain. Whatever happening around is on the axis of pain, and sketches are made dipped in eyes dew, heart-wrenching countless grey shaded views. Sketches coming are the dark pale face of a widow that sighs, a homeless old lady with cloudy eyes, and life trapped in a daily burden cries. An adolescent girl is distracting like a wobble. A compelled woman is suffering in a brothel. A wife pendulating tirelessly between kitchen and bedroom as taught to be a perfect docile. Many pictures of agony in and around solely. Many pictures of agony in and around solely in such times. How to write about Philokelly? Wounded people are stacked in hospital. Eyes are not even damp on the death of martyrs. Progress which reaches poor farmers is a tittle, but hasn't stopped boasting on paper like a remittal. In the trash, among clothes, shoes, cell phone, people used. An icy cold palm-sized corpse of a girl is disposed. A Cinderella bemused in a search of true love as crude has lost her trust and dignity to a snollygoster dude. My heart smolders and shatters with discontent. Amid city boasting women empowerment, Near that city marked flyover, despite several witnessing eyes, Lakshmi still swelters with acid and dies. The slipper, strayed in government file, appears that it has dragged slowly since past infinite years. There are many more sketches in this world. A friend is constantly fighting against deadly cancer. A father keeps fighting at home demanding answer. Yesterday in my neighborhood there happened a mob lynching, but news kept shouting all's under control. What is this cheating? The separation pain of Heer and Ranjha is undoubtedly not small. I do not doubt it at all. But when it comes to those unfed humans lying on the footpath, those unfed human lying on the footpath, and to the agony of a mother whose young son has bloodbath, that stabbing pain of separation from beloved is nothing, just nothing. Amidst all this, amidst all this, no romance is left in chit-chat. Rose-dipped morning, that lily-scented night is met. Above all, one thing I'm sure that neither I get over with your beauty and elegance. Neither I get over with your beauty and elegance, nor I can ever emerge out of your remembrance, but plenty of pains are remained in the world, that under these silences tragic words are curled. My pen gets crooked towards such muted personage, whose pains are not yet heard so far at any age. But oh sweetheart, the love of my life. But oh sweetheart, the love of my life, please don't have any suspicion or hate. Don't go away, my serene love, my soulmate. No, it's not like that I haven't got friendship woe. No, it's not like that I haven't got friendship woe. Neither I'm deprived of platonic love anyhow. It's just that I'm not feeling like writing romance as of now. It's just that I'm not feeling like writing romance as of now. As of now.
So it's beautifully performed actually. I have always listened to you perform your, in your language which you write. But now listening to English, you also perform well in this, bro. So you should be trying more often to perform the poetry and English poetry in this book. It was beautiful to listen, and especially this poem, I was able to imagine everything that you had planted in this particular piece, because there is so much of pain and there is so much of reality which was happening in and around, especially in this year of 2020. So yes, it was just fab. That's all I can say, I suppose, like right now, and I don't know what else I could add to it. So thank you. And yes, so some have asked the question, so I'll just pose the questions to you. Hold on. Yeah. So sorry, just a minute. So this is the question. I'll just pin the comment so you can check it. I'll also be reading.
Yeah, please read it out here. That would be easy.
Yeah, sure. Just a minute. So this is one of the questions we have received now. How do you select poems, especially for the book? Like in this, there are a compilation of poems there, right? So how was the selection process also like? These are the two questions which we have brought from Many Little Things. Bala, hi. So he's also a wonderful writer actually. So from him we have this question: how did you select, and how was the selection process?
Okay, so to answer Bala's question, the selection process was very ruthless. Actually, I was not at all concerned, considering these are my poems. So first thing, it should have because every creation is written by me, but some poems have the true instinct of yours. Whatever I published in the book must have the true instinct of what I feel. Sometimes some few lines may be the inspired, some few lines may have you might be carried away with the thoughts, but those poems which truly reflect your instinct is the first criteria. And other criteria, since the book name is Dariche, which means window, so I try to keep the variety. There are a few poems which are very light-hearted and can't be usually very well received by the teenage readers and the college-going students, like that Tough Guy. which you translated. Kind of those poems which are very, light-hearted and kind of a rom-com. And there are the few poetry which is very heavy-hearted, like the this one. I am not feeling the writing romance as of now, like this one. So it should have a perfect balance. The reader should not feel like, okay, it's all the light work, which not like that kind of work. And at the same time, reader should not feel like the dried with a dried heart, or everything is so full of the heavy words. No, no, no. It has to be a perfect balance. So I like the life. So like life is having a perfect balance. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are caring about nature, sometimes we are dipped into memories, feeling nostalgic. So I try to give the perfect proportion and balance. If a reader is feeling more like feeling close to nature and nostalgic, he can read those poems. If somebody is feeling like love, then he can read those poems. So that is the thing.
Wow, nice. So actually, I think it will be helpful for all the aspiring writers and also those who have thoughts of publishing their book, which you stated right now, that particular point, because they might not be aware of how to do the selection process in case if they want to compile a book. So it's good that you actually told how you selected and how was the process behind it. And also, it's true from a reader's point of view. And even I would have a thought like, if everything is very sober and if it's very sad, also very heavy, means I won't be able to process and digest. And also if it's like very and vice versa, if it's there otherwise, means again it's not going to work. So it's good that you have a proportion. Like right now, I can tell it as a perfect thali to have a lunch, like the perfect thali platter you have.
Yes.
So that the person can enjoy it completely. So yes, so thank you. And yes, so the next question is, this is something which I think the writers in this live, those who are joined, they'll be very much interested to know. How do you deal with writer's block? Have you ever had any writer's block, or how do you deal with writer's block? Because you've been writing for more than 1.5 decades. So you'd be having a great answer for this, I suppose.
Okay, since definitely writer's block is real, because howsoever interesting can be a hobby or a passion or a profession, some or other way your mind gets exhausted. The correct thought which you want to weave into words is not coming. So to deal with writer's block, the answer is read, read, read. The answer is just behind me. You can read the variety of things, because and music, obviously, for me personally, music really helps. And other thing which helps me is reading. If I'm because these days I was writing a song, a love melody for a band in Mumbai. So when the exact thought was not coming for that particular love song, I tried to read something very different from that genre, something very different, let's say classic story, which is not making my mind more exhaustive towards the same feeling. So the portion of the brain which wants to evoke a rom-com lyrics gets relaxed for some time, and when I again relook at the lyrics, that usually work for me. So if I'm not writing, I'm reading, or maybe I'm listening to music. So that is how I think is a personal treatment for me to deal with the writer's block, and the rest it differs from person to person, I suppose.
Okay, yes, true that. And actually, I agree with the point which you said. While you are not writing, you should be reading a lot more, because you'll be able to know different perceptions, and also you will be able to grow as a person and also as a writer or a poet, because you'll be able to understand how the world functions around you. There is something I believe in. Just because it does not happen to you does not mean it is not happening anywhere around the world. So in that way, only through the glass or the lens of reading, you'll be able to touch the other horizon or the other side and get to know what is present there and what is exactly happening, at least by hearing.
Exactly.
And hearing is different and you feeling is different, but at least you need to give your heart, you need to give an insight of what is happening everywhere through reading, I suppose. So wonderful. And yes, so writer's block, all the writers here keep a note of that. So you should read more often, and also music. Music obviously helps, and it always acts as a fuel to all of us. Without music, most of us would be finding it difficult to spend our entire life. Yeah, I can say that also. And yes.
just one more point. Not just, I mean, never ever read just only your favorite writer, because when it's very common tendency, whatever we like, the kind of style we like, we just tend to read that only. So if we tend to read only a single kind of writer, or a single genre for writing, our kind of our style gets influenced by that person. So usually it happens. So to I mean, the best suggestion I would say, because nowadays I was translating some old classics from Sanskrit, and at the same time I was reading poetry from German and Telugu. So this kind of combination, that yeah, the authentic translations I got. So at one side I was reading the originally translated Telugu poetry, and as well as the German poetry, as well as the Sanskrit. So this kind of balance, I will never ever get influenced and biased towards one kind of writing. And when you read different kinds of languages, I usually prefer reading different genre of poetries as well as a different style of poetry. So you personally don't get biased, and out of that you find the essence, you find what is happening around, what people in different when usually whenever I read the northeast poetry from Indian region, northeastern poetry, I find very different kind of very different kind of life which they are living, but the very similar kind of sentiments which we do have. So that gives me an idea of what they are going through. And when I read the poems from German or the French literature, it gives a entirely different idea to your mind, and then how you can process thoroughly to write that.
Okay, that's actually a good point which you stated, bro, right now, because we have the habit of picking our favorite writers. Even if you're ordering from Amazon, or even if you're going to a bookstore and purchasing a book, we do have we do have an immediate tendency to go and pick that book and just build and come to our houses and read it. But that's not how it is supposed to be, because I think it just gets applied for all the writers who are new to the publishing field also, because they publish their book just because they don't have any name priorly added to them. Their books, they don't get sold. But if at all readers though have a different perspective and they start purchasing from purchasing different story books or whatever it is, I think writers also will be having a wide range of spectrum to establish themselves. So it's a good point. Writers side and also readers side, both, I think that is the right balance. It's like they have to be given exposure somehow, and how that exposure comes is because of the actions, obviously. So thank you for telling that point. And also, yes, so guys, and so since I'm taking the questions from everyone, you can also keep posting the questions. Meanwhile, bro, you can perform your poetry, like I mean Hindi poetry. You can just perform so that they'll have an idea of how you perform in your own language. So I mean in the language you write. So I actually, during the open mics when I attend, what happens is I don't understand the language, but I sit and listen to how you perform, the way you use your hand gestures and the expression and the tone which you bring in your performance. It is actually very inspiring. So I would like my audience also to have an access to that today. So yes, you can perform one of your pieces in Hindi.
Yes,
sorry, Hindi.
I would read out a piece, and before that, there is a comment in the books which I can see. Credibility is a thing. Yes, I would say credibility is a thing. But if you read, I mean, with the same feeling, I would say in every language there are incredible poets. So if you read the legends, because if they are legend, there has to be something which has made them legend. Recently, I was reading the translation by the genius Ashok Bindalji, who has translated the Marathi poet. The Marathi poet is Chandrasekhar Gokhale. So, because for a non-Marathi person, it may be difficult for me to understand the Marathi language. But if I'm reading the authentic translation, the real author-approved translation, then I'll have the same essence of what the Marathi idioms have used. So yes, credibility is a thing. In every language, you will find the authentic, the legend writers and poets. So definitely read out those. And with this, I'll start a piece.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so the piece is Zindagi Khatm Se Shuru Hoti. इस इस नज्म में कहानी है, जुड़िएगा उस कहानी के साथ। बड़ी अजीब सी है ये जिंदगी, बड़ी अजीब सी है ये जिंदगी, और बड़ी अजीब इसकी शुरुआत। सुना था चिंगारी से लौ बनती है, सुना था चिंगारी से लौ बनती है, पर यहाँ तो दो लौ मिल एक चिंगारी पैदा करती है। शुरुआत से भी ज्यादा अगर कुछ अजीब है तो वो है इसका अंजाम। रेत की घड़ी सा पल पल गिरना और एक रोज खत्म हो जाना। जिंदगी में इतनी मशक्कत, इतनी फजीहत किस लिए? बस एक मौत के लिए। फर्ज करो कि कभी यूं होता, फर्ज करो कि कभी यूं होता, पहले हमारा इंतकाल होता, कम से कम कुछ ना सही अंजाम का किस्सा तो खत्म होता, कम से कम कुछ ना सही अंजाम का किस्सा तो खत्म होता। आंख खुलती तो कहीं बुजुर्ग खाने में कांपती हड्डियों में पैदा होते, शुरू में ठिठुरते सिकुड़ते, फिर धीरे धीरे हर दिन बेहतर होते जाते, और जिस दिन मजबूत हो जाते वहां से धक्के देके निकाल दिए जाते। जाओ जाकर पेंशन लाना सीखो, कहा जाता कि जाओ जाकर पेंशन लाना सीखो। फर्ज करो कि कभी यूं होता, फिर हम कुछ और बरस की पेंशन बाद दफ्तर को अपने कदम बढ़ाते, एक महीना और घिसते, फिर पहली तनख्वाह पाते, एक नई घड़ी नए जूते लाते, और फिर जैसे ही जवानी आती महफिल में मशगूल हो जाते। शराब शबाब और कबाब आखिर किसको ना भाते, दिल में सिर्फ जायका जमता कोलेस्ट्रॉल का खौफ नहीं, दिल में सिर्फ जायका जमता कोलेस्ट्रॉल का खौफ नहीं। फिर जैसी मौज ऊंची सागर की वैसे हौसले मैट्रिक में आते, अब तक सब रंग देख चुके थे प्राइमरी भी पार कर ही जाते। फर्ज करो कि कभी यूं होता, एक सुबह जब आंख खुलती खुद को नन्हा मुन्हा पाते, एक सुबह जब आंख खुलती खुद को नन्हा मुन्हा पाते, जो ऊँग रहा है बिस्तर में कि बस घास में दौड़ूं यही धुन है, कि बस घास में दौड़ूं यही धुन है। फर्ज करो कि कभी यूं होता, फर्ज करो कि कभी यूं होता, ना उम्मीदों का बोझ रहता, ना जमाने की कोई फिक्र, बस मेरा गुड्डा मेरी गुड़िया मेरा अपना शहर। और एक सुहानी रात जब नाच रहा था चांद आसमां के आंगन में, और एक सुहानी रात जब नाच रहा था चांद आसमां के आंगन में, हम एक नई जान बन कभी किसी गोदी में तो कभी किसी सीने पे आते। और इस आखिरी पड़ाव में अपनी जिंदगी के वो आखिरी 9 महीने खामोश पर चौकस तैरते हुए रईसी में, जहां हमेशा गर्म पानी है, एक थपकी भर से रूम सर्विस आ जाती है, और जब भी मन करे कोई ना कोई सर सहला ही देता है। वहीं कहीं किसी गुमनाम लम्हे में, वहीं कहीं किसी गुमनाम लम्हे में, हसरत और जरूरत के बीच सिर्फ एहसास बन, हम सिर्फ एक एहसास बन कहीं अनंत में खो जाते। फर्ज करो कि कभी यूं होता, जिंदगी खत्म से शुरू होती, ये जिंदगी खत्म से शुरू होती। थैंक यू।
So yes, so this is wonderful. As usual, you rocked it because you have your own way of delivery and also your own style. So yes, it was wonderful to listen after us after so many months, I suppose. Like it's been a long time since we attended an open mic together, and since you moved to Mumbai right now, I don't think we'll be able to attend open mics in person. Maybe virtual open mics can happen definitely. So it was wonderful to listen to you right now. So guys, if you're wondering what was it and all, I think I'll just read the English translation. English translation, so you'll be able to understand what exactly was the poem about. And yes, it is titled as Just Imagine, right, bro? So
Yes.
So it is titled as Just Imagine, and out of the poems, like there are so many wonderful poems in this book actually, but this is my topmost favorite because while editing this and also while translating this, I was actually very much I don't know exactly what word to use. I was very much surprised with the thought itself. So yes, it goes like this. This life is so enigmatic, and so also is its beginning. We heard fire is born from a spark, but here, isn't it amazing how 2 fires ignite in the dark, giving birth to a new flame in the arc? Even weirder than the beginning is its demise. It fleets every moment like a sand cloud, and one day it gets seized and blocked. In life, what for is all this intense hard work, problems and turmoils, only to typically face death. Just imagine, if we die at the beginning itself, then the Herculean task of finishing would have been completed initially itself. We would have opened our eyes in some old age home with trembling limbs and fragile bone. We would have started with shivering and wobbling, and with each passing day, we would have grown better. We would have grown better. And the day we grow strong enough, we would have been ticked out tough to learn to collect pension stuff. Just imagine that after few years of pension, we would have walked to our offices, would have worked harder for one more month, and would have received our first salary once. Would have bought a new desired watch with a pair of our dream shoe match. Slowly and slowly for 35 years, we would have softened those wrinkles and lines from our forehead. And the moment our awaited youth onset, we would have got lost in those feathers of countless lovely get togethers. Then, who would have bothered about the feast, drinks, and beauty? Our hearts would have been filled only with layered deliciousness of butterball, not even a trace of the threat of cholesterol. And like the towering waves of a sea, we would have stored in matriculation. That way, we would have seen the colors around. We would have passed our primary by speculation. Just imagine that one fine morning, we would have found ourselves as a carefree little kid stretching his arms wide in the bed, wishing to just run and play in the lush grasslands. Just imagine that there wouldn't have been any load of expectations, neither any worry of this world. There, I would have only been surrounded by my little toys in my own world. And on one soothing silvery night, when the moon is dancing in the courtyard of the marvelous blue sky, we would have been an infant resting on someone's chest, dreaming of flying. Finally, during that last phase, those closing 9 months of our life, we would have been silent but vigilant, swimming in richness, where there is always warm water present, and whenever you wish, somebody caresses your head, makes you content. Somewhere in this unknown moment, in the midst of desire and need, we becoming just a lovely feel indeed, would have been eventually lost in the zenith. Just imagine if life would have exquisitely begun from the end. Just imagine if life would have exquisitely begun from the end. So yes, this is my favorite forever. It will be, because imagining, reading, writing this itself makes me want to live that particular life. And when a writer is able to bring this precious feeling, that is when he is more successful, I would say. So yeah, any thoughts on this, bro?
I mean,
So guys, just a minute, brother. So yes, so the poem which he performed and which I also recited right now, it's about your life. What if your life starts from your death? So that was the entire piece. And yes, bro, you can go ahead.
thank you so much. I mean, the way you have, translated it and recited it with such a full of energy and the words. And it's not the translation. It's actually a new original piece which you have performed, and you have kept the sanctity of the local idioms which I used. This concept people might have seen in the Curious Case of Benedict Button, and that movie it is also shown like that. But the concept has to be I taken that concept, and the concept has to be adapted as per our Indian motherland. The idioms, the words, the local the words which are used, the idioms which are used is as per the Indian context. And the way you have translated and recited it, you have actually kept the sanctity and performed it really nice. I'm really thankful to you. Thank you so much, Padma.
Thank you so much, bro. For giving me this opportunity. And guys, as I told earlier about how it all started, so it is about the confidence that he had in me. Because for a writer or whoever is creating art, the confidence with which people approach you and they trust you is something very much precious, which you have to value for your entire lifetime. And I will forever be grateful, because I have not published anywhere and I'm totally new to the entire field of writing. So in that case, despite being a beginner, you gave me an opportunity, and I never thought I will be having my name in the pages of a published book. So this is something. This is the best thing that has happened to me in the year of 2020, and especially 2020 being tough for all of us. This happened, and it makes me feel that 2020. I cannot erase it from my life, even if I get a chance, because of this one wonderful thing. So yes, thanks to you, bro. I don't know how many times I'll be saying, but that's just my habit. So yeah, and
Padma, just one
yeah,
thing
yeah, Padma.
I want to add here that as you are saying that you are new to the field of writing, I'm also saying I'm also new to the field of writing because 17, no, literally, I'm speaking seriously, 17, 18 years in the field of writing is nothing. I mean, when it comes to the field of literature, 18, 20, 30 years is just nothing because for me, it's like मैं कहता हूँ लिखना एक साधना है, like a austerity. It's like austerity. You need to do the complete dedication and everything. And I think after when you spend, there are many forms of poetry which takes so many years to exactly come in their original color. Like in Urdu poetry, rubai is a form of poetry. Usually it is said that when you finish your writing career after 40 years or 50 years of writing career, then you actually become eligible to write a good rubai. So if a form of poetry takes 40 years of experience, so in that ocean of literature and writing, and please 18, 19 or 15, 16 or half a decade is just nothing. I feel very new to reading and writing, and we both are on the same page actually.
Yeah, we both are on the same page, and we are trailing in this. I mean, we are sailing in the same boat, I suppose. So yes, together we'll just discover more and more, bro. And also, I would like to ask one more question, because I mean, I have been a part of this book, but beyond this, there are so many people who have worked to bring this out completely together. So, few words about who had worked and how process happened. So, whatever you would like to share in regarding that.
Yeah. So this book is, I always said this, Dariche is not just my Dariche which I'm peeping out. There are many people who have contributed to this. And as it is written in the preface of the book as well, I would again thank all of them. As far as the Hindi poetry is concerned, the Hindustani version which I wrote was mine. But to make it presentable, there are many forms. Like one is you who transliterated the part, and another one is Honorable Mr. V.K. Sharma. He is a person, I would say, kind of a 12-year-old person with 70 years of experience. So it's like he's so childlike. At the age of 82, and when I sit with him and when we talk about poetry, when we discuss thoughts, I feel like I'm sitting with a young child. That kind of positive energy he gives me. And one is you, definitely, and other one is my wife Ashita. She has actually holded me through the process, because this process took a long time. 1.5 years I devoted it. By the time when I was thinking of taking out a book, 2-3 friends of mine who were in the field of writing, they published their books and everything, but I was thinking that it's okay. I'm in no rush, no hurry. I have waited for so many years to become my poems mature to come out in public, but it's completely fine, because every part, if you see the font, the paper, the color, the painting, everything, every part, it took months and weeks. And another very warm thank goes to Ashok, one of my friend. He's a learning monk in Dharamshala. He has did all those paintings. So I wanted I am really influenced by his paintings. So I wanted to include his paintings. And he was so happy that his paintings are in this book. 6 paintings are as the sub covers for the book. And again, one of my friend is Shubhadeep Paul. He is a great flautist. He plays flute marvelously, and so he has already created music for the book. So Dariche shortly after a few months possibly will be releasing audio narration of all the poems in Hindustani, as well as the music composed by him along with that. So that will be audio book soon. It will be, I think it will take few months to compile, because it's entirely a different project. So he has composed the music for the book, and many other people, and above all those, all those friends, all those good, rich experience, as well as the bitter parts, who made me write that, who made me feel that feeling. I'm really, really thankful to all those in my life. And there are many people who contributed, who came along, and they have brought this piece. So this piece doesn't just belong to me, it belongs to everybody. And this is my first book. So, and my mother used to write poetry since childhood, and I think that has came. So this book is dedicated to my mother.
Wow, that's amazing. A wonderful dedication, and I'm really excited about the part which you told right now, the audio file. The audio project entirely. With music, it's going to be splendid and marvelous, I suppose, obviously. So I'm just looking forward to it. What to say, like from the reader's perspective or someone who follows up your poetry, I think even though I don't know the language, somehow I'll listen to it and I'll try to understand here and there, definitely. So yes, and you told about the art, so I would like to show what it is exactly to the viewers, those who are watching. So guys, you can see like this, you will be finding the pictures in between the poetries in the entire book, like 6 pieces are there, I suppose. So this is by his friend. You can see the dedication also, dedication or the credits given here, Ashoka Art. So it's nice to bring in your friends' art also. It's like there is so much of life in this English poetry, and then your poems, your mother's dedication, your friends' pictures, your wife's efforts, and VK Sharma sir, his touch also. So it's a huge compilation of so many emotions together. So yes, and bro, so since we spoke about your mother, how does your parents feel about this whole thing which happened recently? How did they react to it?
The first copy, I went home during Diwali holidays, and then the first copy I devoted to both of them, and they both felt so. I mean, I would say they were overwhelmed, because my father is fond of, in Hindi there is word tukbandi, a shairi, tukbandi. So whenever there used to be an anecdote, any incident, he always has an anecdote to recite upon that. And that anecdote may be poetic, may be prose, and so he is having that roots of literature. And so maybe he is a lawyer, so he language is the essential part for him. And my mother used to be a teacher, but since before her marriage as well, she used to write poems. But after I born, I tore all the pages and I have eaten all her diaries. So I think all that is coming out now.
Wow, nice. So whatever you ate, now you're giving it to her in the form of this poetry book. That's a wonderful story, actually. So nice. And since we also spoke about VK Sharma sir, you can tell about your work experience, like the whole experience while working for this poetry book. How did the process go and everything? Just few words.
Yeah. So while I gave him the manuscript, it was like a A4 sheet, a whole spiral-binded manuscript. So he's such a dedicated person at this age. My God, for every poem in Hindustani, he has one page. He tore one page from his diary and made the English transliteration from that and pasted side by side. So with his efforts, actually this book got conceived in him, and that's why my book size become double, actually, because he pasted each and every word. So a book by him is getting implanted in my book. So I would say a book was getting born in my book in that way. So that kind of, so I was amazed to see his dedication at this age. Every day he's listening, he's reading my poetry again, he's discussing, he's asking me for personal sittings to clarify, to discuss the undertones of the poem, the hidden what are the behind the lines stories and everything, so that he can deliver the exact sense without just making into rhyming. So that he was never bothered about rhyming, he was bothered about the sense, because a person having he has an experience of 60 years of writing, so that really comes up with something very essential. And after that, a few of my friends, and after that, when you and VK Sharma sir has done the transliteration part, because this book is available abroad also, Amazon.com also. So few readers are there in UK and US. And if any English speaker, native speaker is reading that book, this English poetry this was my personal belief, that I didn't want my translation to be just a dry translation. just like any other dry translation. So I made sure a few friends in UK, specifically in London and United States, they were 2 3 friends were there. So I asked them to correct any grammatical or any, the local colloquial or anything which has to be essentially present in English poetry, which I'm lacking by any way, just to make sure that I do not, this book is an integral effort by so many people. This should not lack there when it is getting sold in the lanes of London or in anywhere in United States. It should, that name of English translation should not go in vain, because the name is yours and VK Sharma, but it's my moral responsibility that the English transliteration should be as far as possible perfect to that, so that it becomes the actual poem.
Yes. So nice. I mean, it's good to hear the entire story which you told. Behind the screens, we call it as always. Behind the scenes, we call it as always. So it's nice to hear. And also, VTS Sharma sir, like I have met him in one of the open mics, and he came with his grandchild. So that time when I met, he was so humble and he was so down to earth. He signed one of his poetry book and he gave it to me. I still have the picture, and it was nice to meet a passionate writer with that age during that open mic. So if Bala is here, Bala also would be aware of his performance which he did on that day. It happened in 2019, starting beginning of the year, before 2 years. So it's nice to have shared the platform or share the name with such huge writer whom I see as my inspiration. So thank you again for bringing this association between both of us, at least indirectly. So yeah. Bro, so one last final question for the day. Yeah.
Any further? Is there any questions and comments which we are, not? Is there any?
I forgot about this whole thing. We were in. I was so much engrossed in the conversation, and I completely forgot about the questions here. So yeah, as you said, you read some. I'll just read out the question.
I'll go quick answer. Okay, I'll go for quick answer.
Yeah, sure. Don't mind it. Listen. Yeah, Guru, that one I'll make it happen in some other live, definitely. Telugu poem. Now we are discussing about Dariche. So yeah. And bro, here's one question. What do you think of people trying to write in foreign language? What should they do to learn the language and to write? So that is one of the questions. I'll repeat again. Yeah. Was it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. If they want to write in foreign language, means if you want to write in some particular language, you need to learn that thoroughly, inside and out. If you're reading a foreign language, it's a different thing. You maybe needed a elementary proficiency, maybe, but when you're writing in that, if you're doing justification with the words and you're writing a poetry in foreign language, means you are playing with the words. To know the word play correctly, you need to thoroughly understand that language, whatsoever the foreign language is.
Okay, sure. That's nice actually, because I write in English, but sometimes I do write in Tamil, and I try. But after hearing your point, I think I'll have to get familiar more with the language and also then start writing or try my hands more at it. So yes, he told. Yeah, I remember that. Also got an autograph book from VK Sharma. Yes, I do have the book too. So bro, just one last question for the day, and we'll wrap the session with that. So what are your future plans for writing? Because you told you feel that there's a huge responsibility on your shoulder right now after being published. So what are your future plans apart from the audio podcast which you told?
Future. No one has seen future, but yeah, as of now, 2-3 manuscripts are already ready while this book was getting. So, but I'm in no hurry of getting published, because this race is going on these days to become more published. The people who publish quite often, I have an advice for them to, you have published a lot, let's read something. So, so I just wanted to be slow, persistent, because it's a long way to go. Literature is a long way to go. And the good part is I'm in Mumbai. I'm getting few projects regarding lyrics writing as well. And recently wrote for a few bands as well. And but yeah, story writing is another thing which I have been doing quite some time. And probably the next book will be a collection of short stories, I think. I don't know, because 2-3 manuscripts are going parallel. So whatsoever manuscript will be finished soon, that particular genre of the book will come. Yeah, but there is a lot of
That's amazing. Like lyric writing and story writing going on, everything is wonderful.
you can
Bro,
see
these are the questions from my end. Just one more thing. Like one viewer has asked something for you. So if you could read that and answer him, we can wrap up with the session.
I think what is that? This question is who? Okay, what is the question? I'm unable to see actually. What is the question?
Uh, whose genre you like more? Mir Sahib and Dalit Sahib. It's a
Yeah.
question. I don't understand it completely. So.
The two are the legends of Urdu poetry, Mir Taqi Mir and Mirza Ghalib. And whose genre is very difficult to say because both of their genres entirely different. Ghalib poetry is everywhere. I mean, whether it's a sad part, whether it's related to life philosophy, or whether anything, it's everywhere, and it's been adapted widely. As far as, but Mir is known as the god of Urdu poetry. Khuday Sukhan is the title given to Mir Taqi Mir, and yes, I do like Mir poetry as well because it's so musical. So, but they're both genre is different, and whenever I'm feeling like musical, I go to Mir Taqi Mir, and whenever I feel like the deepest core sense weaved into words, I go to Mirza Ghalib. The book is just in my bookshelf, Diwane Ghalib, and Mir Taqi Mir is also there in the shelf, and I love both of them. And I'm too young, and it's too early for me to comment on the legends. But yeah, the process is going on, and I love both.
Nice, nice. Actually, I mean, I love the way how you answer everything in a nice way. Like I would not call it as diplomatic, although people would assume it is diplomatic. You just stay true to whatever you are saying right now, and it's just humble. I mean, it's just nice to see how humble you are, and I'm also learning a lots and lots from you, bro. Actually, so guys, so this is the live session which we planned, and I had a wonderful live session today, getting to hear from you, learning more from you, and again, today also I brought more inspired. And to all the wonderful writers and also to the viewers, you have shared so many valid points. So thank you so much for that, bro. So guys, since we started with poetry, I would like to end it with poetry. Then only it would be a perfect and bang with and perfect ending with bang. So yes. So this is like again one of the things. The reason why I chose this right now is because we are in the monsoon season. So yeah, that is the reason. It is titled as Mud Houses. I'm someone who is actually I mean, I love rain basically, but this one when I read, I did feel heavy a bit. So it goes like this: the rain is romantic for some people, whereas few remain angry with clouds. Why doesn't monsoon be an enemy and dud for those whose houses are made of mud? Desires shelter in the umbrella of hearts, they keep their palms over their heads. No other wishes are crispy in their plate. All the dreams sleep in their wet fate. By collecting every straw of grass, they keep building their houses. On the chest, they tie their fodder. Their bites are soaked with rainwater. Under a leaking roof laid some innocent wet kids. They cry. In this rainy season, their life is so dry. For those whose houses are made of mud. So yeah, this is I didn't recite it so properly, but then I was just able to read it. So yes, I love rain, but when I read this, I was able to understand and get into their shoes. Even though I might not be able to justify their feeling completely by imagining me in their shoes, I still felt something heartbreaking actually while reading. So yeah.
Padma, if you allow me for 2 minutes, I would just read its Hindustani version. Many audience, I think, the Hindustani. Okay, so the poetry, the essence was for everybody. Rain is very romantic, but is it romantic for everyone else? So I thought there is a portion of people for them, rain and rainy season is not romantic. And who are those people? The people whose houses are made of mud. So let me read the Hindustani version.
Sure.
बारिश किसी की है रोमानी, बारिश किसी की है रोमानी, कोई बादल से रूठे रहते हैं, उनको क्यों ना हो सावन बैरी जिनके घर मिट्टी के होते हैं, उनको क्यों ना हो सावन बैरी जिनके घर मिट्टी के होते हैं। दिल के छाते में अरमान ढके, हथेली सर पे रखे रहते हैं। दिल के छाते में अरमान ढके, हथेली सर पे रखे रहते हैं। नहीं उनकी कोई ख्वाहिश करारी, ख्वाब गीली लकीरों में सोते हैं। तिनका तिनका घास जोड़कर, तिनका तिनका घास जोड़कर सूखा घरोंदा बुनते रहते हैं। वो आटा सीने पे बांध के चलते, जिनके गीले निवाले होते हैं। एक टपटपाती छत के नीचे कुछ गीले बच्चे सोते हैं। एक टपटपाती छत के नीचे कुछ गीले बच्चे सोते हैं। झमझम में भी सूखा सावन, जिनके घर मिट्टी के होते हैं, जिनके घर मिट्टी के।
Thank you so much, bro. It was again wonderful to listen. So yes, guys, we have come to the end of the session, and I think we'll be wrapping it up right now. So thank you once again for joining, for taking your time and actually joining and talking about Daricha and your experiences, sharing so much. It was just an insightful session, I would call it as. So guys, this is the book we were talking about. You can see I actually am hiding my face. Yes. So yeah, this is the book, and this book there is I mean, I would not call it as efforts. There is so much of life and soul in this book. So in my profile link, you'll be able to find the in my profile bio. Sorry, in my profile, you'll be able to find the link of this book and also his profile bio also. Please go and get yourself a copy, and yes, keep supporting budding poets and writers like us, like him. So yes, and with that, bro, are there any words that you want to share with everyone?
I'm thankful to all these saplings and seeds who were with us listening to this. And I really wish these all saplings and seeds grow higher and they shower the words, the fruits everywhere. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Padma. Thank you.
And thank you so much for letting me water these saplings here, because I would also want to say it in a metaphorical way, because everything you took care of, I just watered the plants here and there. I mean, the saplings here and there. So thank you for having me, and I'm forever grateful to you and Didi as well. So say thanks to her also, and sending loads and loads of love from my viewers. I mean, from my Insta fam actually. So, and I wish you grow more and more, and your book travels to all the places as I told in the beginning itself. And yes, hoping to see you grow more just like your saplings, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So
and don't forget to save the video. Don't forget to save the IGTV video. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. I will save it so that everyone will be able to see. So thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So guys, thank you so much everyone who joined, and I didn't actually, I mean, it really went great. So I'll be saving this live video on IGTV, as IGTV. So if you find time, or if you want to kill time, or if you're bored, or if you want to know about Dariche or whatever it is, please watch it, and also use the link in my bio and get yourself a copy. So for now, it is me signing off. Bye.